Time, space, collecting. A multiverse of stories shaped by the choices we make. We are your guides across the Marvelverse, exploring everything from the MCU to cards and collectibles. Because every piece we collect tells a story. The question is, what does yours say about you?
Yo, yo, yo! What is up, everybody? Welcome into Across the Marvelverse, episode number 9. It is Sunday, September 14th, and I am here with my good friend, Donny. Welcome to the show.
No, thank you for having me, man. It's been exciting. I've been loving your content, and it's been, seeing there's been like a gap in the hobby, I feel, with content, and you filled that gap, bro. So thank you. You make my job so much easier and fun just listening to you, but you've been killing it, and you do amazing stuff, bro. I just got to say you are really good at this. So keep it up, man.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm happy to have you on here. Thank you for coming on. Donny has been a really good friend to me. I got to meet Donny very early on when I started collecting Marvel, and we've kind of been on this Marvel card journey together for the last couple of years, and it's just been a blast. I've get to share a lot of my successes and wins, a lot more of my losses and fails. And it's just, it's a great old time. So today we're going to be talking a lot about comics, comic books 101, and bridging that gap from cards to the comics. And I wanted to bring Donny on because before cards, he has a really deep history with comic books. And actually, Donny, if you could, can you just share a little bit about your Marvel story and how you were initially introduced to Marvel?
Yeah, collecting comics. With my little brother, we would watch all the MCU movies. Like day of, we needed to get those tickets for the day of. If they had it the day before that night, like we'd go watch all of them. And as we watched them, I just would remember, I remember that happening in the comics. Oh, I remember this. And like one day, me and him went on eBay looking for these comics and got really intrigued. And like, he was really excited about it. And he's like me, we have addictive personality. So it's like when we put ourselves, to something, we want to do it to the fullest extent and the best we can, And so like he wanted to get into collecting and buy certain comics. So we end up, it was just perfect timing. There was a toy store that just opened up literally like 2 months before we decided to start collecting. And this was right before COVID. And we walked in there and he just bought a big comic book collection. Okay. So we have like at the time it was like 2 or 3 comic shops, and that one was like a hidden gem. They had all these comics. Everybody thought it was a toy store, which had amazing vintage toys as well. It's called Those Wonderful Toys. Amazing guy, just one of the craziest stores that I've ever been in. And it's like one of those, it reminded me of one of those movies like back in the 90s that you would see the kids have all their toys and little knickknacks, jacks, and everything everywhere, And he had it like that, and it just brought back so much nostalgia. And when he got that collection, he's like, I haven't priced anything. You could go ahead and go through it, and then we could price it. So me and my little brother looking through them and just found so much good stuff. And we told him I told him we're barely getting back into collecting. I used to have toys and comics when I was a kid, but he's like, okay. So, and he broke it down to us pretty like simple and easy for us to understand. And he, like early on, he broke down like golden age. This is golden age, silver age, this is bronze age, this is the year it stopped. And at the time, you would think it would be too much information to like come in, but it came so easy to him. So we bought a whole bunch of comics, and with him, he wanted to speculate on the movies, so he always wanted to think like, oh, what's going to happen next? So like we had our theories and like, oh no, I feel like this character is going to come out or this character. So like we started like, speculating, and that's a whole different ball game. Like I feel like that kind of went away now, but at the time it was like you'll see a book that was like a $20 book before or $5 book, and now it's like a $400 book because that character came on the movies. Yeah, it was crazy, a crazy time to collect. And but that's what we started doing. And then I started, Batman and Wolverine are my favorite characters. And I know people are going to be like, it's new to them because everybody thinks of me as Iron Man, and that's what I collect in the cards. But we got into collecting those, and he loved Daredevil, started collecting Daredevil comics. And then, and here we are still in it. Like we dipped our toe, but we're all the way in now. And it's been nothing but fun. And I loved it because it brought us closer. And, he's my little brother. He's my girl's little brother. So like I always call him my little brother just because I was there when he was 2 years old and I got to see him grow up to what he was, so he always felt like a little brother to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I that was pretty much how we got started, but there was a big journey in between. There's like the movies, then we started getting the vintage toys to go with our comics, and then we got into Marvel cards. So there's plenty of ways that we interacted with the IP, had fun with it, and collected movie posters, like you name it. We had FOMO for it at the time. No, we started like breaking down what we really wanted though. Okay. And that's one thing that I loved about it too, is because he doesn't have a lot of money. He's, 12 years old, 13 years old. Sure. As we kept going, he would work with me on the weekends, make some money. And, so he had to be like real disciplined. Okay, this is what I'm going after. Yeah. But with comics, you're able to have the hobby fund itself. So you would buy comics, even though we like Spider-Man, but that's not what we collect. So we would buy Spider-Man books to trade to get Daredevil books or Batman books and Wolverine books, or speculate as he always loved to do. And 12, 13 years old, when you buy a $50 comic and then you're able to sell it for $300, he was just amazed by it. He was just like, oh man, like it's like hitting the lottery, almost gambling or something. Yeah. And so when he would do that, he worked his way up to get his main book, and it's a crazy book. It's first appearance of Elektra in a Mark Jewelers.
Oh wow.
So yeah, he was really happy to get that, and he still has that book to this day. And then got into foreign comics, which is a whole other rabbit hole. But we got into foreign comics early on to where we were able to enjoy collecting foreign comics. And the main reason was because the US at that time, the US market for, the US prints were just crazy priced. Like any key, it didn't matter what it was going for big money. So we're like, what is a cheaper way that we could still have fun and still enjoy, collecting, but also find something that's unique that most people don't have? And that's where we got into foreigns and had tons of fun with foreigns, and, just kept going. It's the more I think about it, I think the most fun part for us in the hobby is doing the research. Definitely doing the research, learning, finding out new stories behind the story. It's like how this book became what this book was. Like, yeah, seeing Stan Lee's interviews and like Todd McFarlane's and the way all this stuff like came together. And yeah, we just had a lot of fun with it.
And that's so important. And it's something that a lot of people don't do. They don't want to put in the work and the research. What's cool is not only is it something that you should do, that's like, you just said it, like that's the part you like the most, that's how it should be. I feel like, at least if it's really something you're passionate about. But man, that's so cool that it's something that you and your brother did and brought you together. And the funniest thing is that's how I know how important that relationship is to you. Because when I said, how were you introduced to Marvel? Most of it, you explained how your brother was. And I love that because that's such an important part of your collector story and your Marvel story. So that's just so cool. Sure. And then after foreign comics, that from there, it was after then, is that when you got into cards?
So when we were collecting the US, I collected Batman and Wolverine. Those are my two favorite characters. And Wolverine, I wanted to collect from issue 1 all the way to 200. And I ended up doing that, including the limited series. And I did that. And then I found out about Newsstand. And then went down that rabbit hole. And I said, I'm going to start over and I'm going to collect every newsstand. I got kind of far, but it's funny. It's like when you get something that you've been wanting for so long, and then I don't know if you ever had this happen where you're like, oh, I want this. And then you get it. And then you kind of like quickly fall out of love with it. You're like,
oh yeah, I've had that happen before.
There's other things, other things I could get. And so that's kind of what stopped me. But I went more into the deeper side of Wolverine, like the more obscure Wolverine comics.
Okay.
Like Wolverine 102.5, which is an Upper Deck Melloway comic.
Whoa.
So that is from the 1996 Marvel Masterpieces, and the cover is it's a Wolverine cover and has Boris. He's the one that did the cover for that.
Wow.
And the inside,
that's so cool.
Interior pages is just pages of the actual art. It's not a comic. It's just art.
No kidding.
And on the back side is Silver Surfer. It's just,
dude, I never knew about this. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I need to look this up.
I've had two of them. I actually just sold one, probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And then I'm actually going to probably move the other one I have just to try to get, only if there's available, but move that one to be able to get the signed copy of Boris. And it's not the same as going to like a con and getting it signed. These ones were actually had a certificate, a sticker on the bottom right corner.
Okay. Yeah.
So they were, and it's written in gold. So that's like the COA in a way.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. That's really cool. So how did you first get into comics yourself? Because you were introduced to them at a very early age, right?
Yeah. So growing up, I got all the hand-me-downs from my cousins. My cousins TJ and Marky. And it sucks because I was always a tall kid. So like my cousin Marky and he's still the same size to this day. He's always been short,
Never grew.
So it never grew, So as I got older, I was still getting like the same stuff, and I'm like, hey, this don't fit no more, But I would always get their hand-me-downs, and their dad would always buy them everything, man. And it was interesting because like they were like collectors though already. Like it wasn't like, oh, here's some toys I had. Like they really like loved these things. They took care of them, put them on their shelves, displayed them. They had checklists for their toys.
Wow.
And their comics. Like to me, it was just, it's always, I think it's in our family though, because my Nana, she was a collector of jewelry. Okay. And my Tata was a collector of like coins and stuff. So I think it's just in our blood to collect.
Sounds like it.
But yeah. And so I remember one day they gave me a big tub of just toys, and it was all Batman toys and Voltron and just so many like 80s toys, So at the time, and I'm 31, so at the time those were new to me, but like I didn't grow up in the 80s. But everybody is like, how do you don't remember that? Like you didn't remember when that came out. But that's the stuff that I got that was new to me. So I got to enjoy having those new toys. I mean, new toys to me, but even though they're old, I get to like,
they were part of your childhood.
Live in that past. Yeah. So they still bring nostalgia to me. And then I also got to enjoy like the newer stuff, like the Batman animated series and all these other toys. So
it's cool.
I always loved that. It was really fun. And so leading to the actual comic itself, my older cousin, they were brothers, CJ, he gave me a book and he said, hey, this is one of my favorite books. You need to take care of it. It was bagged and boarded and everything. And the first book he showed me was Silver Surfer #1.
Wow.
And yeah, and it was like clean copy. And he's like, this is Silver Surfer's first solo series. Like, take care of this book. And you would think I would be a Silver Surfer collector after that, but my dad, he always loved Wolverine. And he would always say, oh, he's the best there is. He's the best there is. And that's part of like his phrase, like the best there is at what he's the best there is at what he does, And so Wolverine has always been ingrained, like, oh, my dad loves Wolverine, I love Wolverine. And so he gave me that book, and then he gave me a short box of other comics. And from what I could remember, it was like a lot of Doctor Strange. He didn't have no DC though. Like it was all Marvel.
Smart man.
It was all
Smart
Marvel.
Man.
Yeah. I'll let that one be. No, but yeah. No, he did have nothing but Marvel. I would say he did have like some independent books like Wildcats and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think for the most part, I remember having those. And then after that, I would pick up a comic here and there from Bookman's. We used to go to field trips to Bookman's, and they would give you this little ticket, and it was a $10 ticket. You could buy, it was like cut cash, you know, and it was like their bucks, Bookman bucks. And I remember I would tell all my friends, like, hey, I'll give you $2. Give me that $10 voucher, you know? And I would just go buy them and just like.
So you've been hustling since you were a little kid.
That's part of the game, you know? It's just fun. And so I remember I would have like 4 or 5 of them, and I would be leaving with this big old toy or freaking expensive like Game Boy game. I remember I bought a couple Game Boy games, and like it was just fun to me. So
that's
like
too funny, bro.
yeah, but I guess it's always just been in us to be collectors. So
yeah. Oh man, what a cool story. I want to get more into your story later on the episode. We're going to talk a lot about Donny and comics, but before we do, I want to hit some news on the Marvel front.
The Watchers Report.
So we do have some news to talk about today. I don't think there's anything too earth-shattering, but I'm going to go ahead and bring up the screen share here. To start us off, Sony Spider-Man Beyond the Universe is set for June 4th, 2027 to release. Originally, it was set to release actually on March 29th, 2024. So over a year ago. But hey, we will get it eventually. Yeah, we will get it eventually in 2027. But it looks great from what I understand. The last 2 were awesome, so I'm looking forward to that one. Marvel Zombies set to drop September 24th.
Waiting for this.
Dude, I know. I'm excited. It's almost here. Good. It is almost here. The only news we've gotten from last week is that the whole series will drop all at once. So it will not be broken up week by week or half and half like Ironheart. Yeah, we get it all at once. My theory on that is that I believe this is R-rated and it's animated.
That's interesting.
So I think they're a little skeptical on how it will do. And I think they're worried that if like episode 1 is a bust and people don't buy in, they're just going to tank every episode thereafter. I think if they drop it all at once, the idea is maybe people will at least watch all of them all the way through, whether it's a success or not. But I think it's going to be a success. I think it's going to be great. So I'm really excited for it.
I think so too. And I'm surprised that Marvel doesn't lean in more into their animated stuff, just because I feel like there's a lack of cartoons for kids to like enjoy. Like me, I grew up with X-Men animated series, you know, like every week you had a new episode and you got to like, it just like was ingrained in your life, you know, like, oh, I got to watch it on this day, you know, Saturday morning cartoons. And to see it all drop, like it's interesting because I know Marvel's like in a weird spot right now. Like, so it could either be like what you said, or maybe they think it's so good. They're like, here, let's give them something that they've been wanting, you know? And I hope they get back on track with that, because we don't need 10 episodes or 10 seasons or shows to a year. Like, just give us good quality. You know, I'd be happy with like two just good quality and keep them going, find ways to connect them like they do.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for this. I'm really am. So
yeah, definitely the higher quality is what we want. And I think that is the direction they're headed. So yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. It's going to be fun once it drops. Speaking of Marvel Studios, this isn't really news per se, but we did get confirmed that Phase 9 is in development. If you didn't know, there are 3 phases in a saga. So currently, we just started Phase 6. That is the last phase of the multiverse saga. And then we will move from there into Phase 7, which will kick off a brand new saga. And it's just kind of funny to think about that we're still in the multiverse saga, and they're already in development for the last phase of the next saga. So kind of interesting. Crazy. Yeah, I know. Rumored to be in Phase 9, X-Men, Avengers.
Of course.
And it's rumored that it'll be Avengers 7, so the 7th movie, Spider-Man 6, and Fantastic Four number 3. So in between then, obviously we'll get number 2. But yeah, that's pretty exciting. All big IPs, and kind of interesting that Phase 9, the rumor is that you're basically getting one movie from the biggest franchises that MCU has. right? Avengers, Spider-Man, X-Men, which I'm assuming we'll be getting more of as things go on, and then Fantastic Four, the newest right now. So,
and as we all know, this is all subject to change, because it's happened in the past. So it's like, you got to take it with a grain of salt, but it's looking good right now. Like to hear all those movies, it's like, oh, yes, please.
And we're years away before any of this happens. But
I'm still waiting for Blade. I'm still waiting for Blade. I don't know when it's coming, but I'm excited.
We've only been waiting a decade, maybe one more decade, and we'll get there.
Yep.
So moving on to card news, the Secret Lair drop from Marvel's Magic the Gathering set, which drops this month. There is a Secret Lair drop that we've talked about the last few weeks. Each week, it seems like we just get a little bit more news about Secret Lair. Last week, we went over the Daily Bugle breaking news set, which I talked about this last week with Justin. The way they did these Daily Bugle cards are just phenomenal. One of the things that many collectors do not like about the trading card game cards is all the text that's all over it and it covers the art. What better way to hide that than putting it on what looks like a newspaper article and basically just hiding it in plain sight? They just look stunning. They're phenomenal. I won't go too much further into them since we hit them last week. I will say it did confirm the price for non-foil sets are $30. Foil sets are $40. But now we know all of the other Secret Lair sets that will drop this month. You've got Spider-Man Heroic Deeds. Heroic Deeds have just various shots of Spider-Man just doing exactly that. Good deeds around the city. You've got the very first one, Ephemerate. He's holding a young child, swinging away, saving her from some sort of explosion. You've got one that features Spider-Man, Gwen, and Miles, and a few others here. I always like to make sure that we give credit to the artist as well. So I'll zoom in a little bit here. The first two were Lucas Wernick, and honestly, they're my two favorites from this set. So Lucas, fantastic job. Swayart also did a real nice job with this Miles, and he's got these like lightning shoes on. And then you've got the I don't know if it's Sol Ring, SOL Ring, whatever it is. Todd Knott, phenomenal artist that did the art there, and it's got a little brace around. It looks like his leg, maybe. And then Command Tower. Just the last one, which is a land for the game that is drawn by Elena Casagrande. And you can see, if you zoom in real close, you can see Spider-Man swinging away from the tower.
Oh, okay, cool.
So pretty cool stuff with that one. And those sets will also be $30 for the non-foil, $40 for the rainbow foil. Now we get on to one of my other favorites, though. This is the Mana Symbiotes. Dude.
Really cool.
These are dope. The foiling pattern looks really cool. I'm excited to see what these will actually look like in person and not just a scan. The only way I can explain it for people not watching on video is it's like a monochromatic rainbow effect almost.
I've always felt like there should be a one-of-one like that. Like, I don't know why they haven't.
Man, that would be cool.
That would just, these look amazing though. I love it.
Yeah. So the mana, you've got magic, your plains, island, swamp, mountain, and forest. Each one has a different shot of Venom behind the logo for that mana. So I'll zoom in a little bit. Pedro Portier did all of these cards, and man, they just look amazing. Most of them have Venom's face huge. So Swamp is one of my favorites because it looks like he's about to eat the mana itself.
Yep.
And actually, same thing with Mountain, but I think the Swamp looks a little cooler.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. And the forest is neat too. You've got Venom just kind of surrounding himself over the tree, but really, really neat. If you haven't seen those, definitely check them out. This is the only one that has a different price. You actually get 2 of each card in this one, but it is only the foil set and they will be sold at $60. So kind of interesting. The other interesting thing, if you notice, the others say rainbow foil, and this is the only one that says raised foil. So I wonder if these will be textured and the other ones won't. I'm wondering if we get some texture.
That's going to be interesting because I feel like that's what Marvel, like Upper Deck and Tops lack, is having that texture.
Yes.
And to see that on a trading card like that is crazy.
100%. So that'll be really cool. There's also these Venom Unleashed sets. This one says colors because there's 2 types. This one is in full color, and you've got all these really cool shots of Venom. And
crazy.
Yeah. And what's really cool is Mark Bagley and J. David Ramos did all of this art.
So crazy.
So getting Mark Bagley art on a card, man.
I know, man. That's so good.
Yeah, I mean,
Mark Bagley is such an amazing artist. To see it like this, and I'm pretty sure we've had these conversations with, trading Magic the Gathering. But all this is original art, right? Like I've never seen these images, so it's like, and from my understanding, what everybody else I've talked to is like, oh no, every card is original art. So it's like, it's crazy that they're able to keep up with that and be consistent with that. Because man, I would love to see some of these pieces in person.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Venom just destroying a city that's just up in flames behind him. You've got close-ups of Venom. You've got him fighting Spider-Man. I mean, they're just great pieces. Yes. This goes back to the $30 for a non-foil set, $40 for a foil set. And by the way, all of these are 5 cards each. So each one of these sets are 5 cards. The only difference is that mana one where you get 2 of each mana. So that one you actually get 10. But then we move on to the same exact set, Venom Unleashed, but they have a black and white version. So you can choose if you want full color or black and white.
So good.
Yeah, the black and white looks real, especially for Venom. Venom looks so cool. Like the one where you get the close up of his face here. The card's called Peer into the Abyss. It almost looks like it was meant to be black and white.
For sure. And that's what I love. With original art is getting the interior pages where it's just black and white. And to see something like that, but looks so detailed. Like you don't even need the shading or anything. It's like crazy to me.
Yeah, me too.
Love the ink work.
Me too. The last set is Villainous Plots. You've got some different villains here going on. You've got a Black Cat that was done. Let me zoom in a little bit more so we can get the artist names here. That was Terry Dodson. You've got a Spider-Man fighting Lizard. He's kind of holding his jaw open. That's done by Cal New, I believe is how you say his last name, but I could be wrong. But he's a great artist. He's done, I believe, plenty of Marvel cards throughout the years. Another Todd Knock, which is awesome. That's an Electro, where Electro is kind of stomping down. It's got electric feet, it looks like. You've got the Soul Ring. That's Roberta. Yeah, that's it's so funny. Sometimes you say a character and you're like, oh yeah.
I know, right? You just that person comes to mind.
Yeah. Character collectors, man, it kind of becomes their identity. Shout out to Bubs.
And that's how it is for you. Like every time I see Scarlet, I'm like, oh, there's Hermit.
Yep.
Oh, there's Hermit. Like I think
that with Iron Man.
Yeah, that's funny.
But you got the Soul Ring. It's a really cool Doc Ock from behind, Roberta Ingranata. And he also did the Command Tower, which is kind of cool. We get a good Command Tower, like the good guy Command Tower, and then we get the bad guy Command Tower. Yeah. This one shows Oscorp. And you've got, is that Green Goblin? Nice. Looks like that might be Green Goblin there in front of the moon.
Nice.
Very cool.
I actually am more interested to see like more of these landscape kind of cards, because it's taking you into that world. You get to see a little deeper into that. I think that's interesting.
I do too. So again, if you do want to get in on these secret lair drops, make sure you are ready. It's on September 22nd. We still do not know the exact time it will drop, but I would be making sure that you are doing all the things you need to do to prepare, make your account, get your payment information, update it on your account, and be ready early. So that way, and I'll be refreshing. As soon as it goes live,
it's gonna sell out. That's for sure.
I'll give some advice. I don't know how quickly this will or will not sell out, so you don't have to take it. As someone who still is, but maybe not as big as I used to be, but really into like sneakers and different types of streetwear. I know before when I've gotten greedy, unlike, I'm a real big fan of Kith, and I've participated in many Kith drops. And usually when I try and get greedy and get multiple items, I always get burned because you usually, if you aren't using bots, right, you've only got enough time realistically to get like one item. And if you get lucky
too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes you got to get lucky just to even get one.
Yeah, for sure.
So my advice is don't be greedy. Pick the one you want the most. Try and get that one and just run through those screens as fast as humanly possible. And if it turns out that they had more stock and inventory than we thought, go back through and try again. But that would be my best advice.
What I've loved to see though is that they've been having these at comic shops, like the secret layers and stuff. And it's crazy though, because they had to get it secondary, like the other people sold it to them so they can sell it there. But when I was talking to a couple of the comic shop owners, they say that they're making it really difficult for them to carry this stuff in comic shops because they want you to have Magic the Gathering tournaments there.
Yes.
And also like a, like a social media presence and stuff. So it's cool to see it there, but I guess it's making it a little harder for them to get it.
Yeah, and that a lot of that has to do with distributors. Funny enough, Justin and I talked a little bit about distributors because we were celebrating that he got a Topps partnership where he'll be able to sell Topps, some sort of distributor partnership agreement, whatever you want to call it. Nice. But I used to run a very small online store, and man, I will tell you, it is hard to get those distributors to get on board with your store, especially when you're first starting out, and even more so if you are not ready to put up a lot of money. They certainly will cater to the shops that do more business, which is natural. I mean, they're in business, they're trying to make money themselves, but it can be very, very difficult. And Magic the Gathering especially has a lot of stipulations. Even if you are on board with a distributor that sells Magic the Gathering, there's still additional rules. Like I had, I won't say who, but my distributor would not even sell me any Magic the Gathering just because I was an online store. One of the stipulations just to even carry Magic is you have to be brick and mortar. At least that's how it was back then. It's been quite some time now. So anyways, I just say that because it is hard. It is tough to get into this stuff, and there are a lot of rules that they try to put on to get it. So definitely support your local stores, especially if they are able to get any of this product. Please support them because it is not easy for them to get. And the more you buy, the better chances that you'll have at them continuing to get the product.
Yep.
All right, moving on to comics. Just a couple new comics I wanted to mention that dropped this week. Punisher Red Band #1. I try to, anytime I see a comic that looks interesting and it's a #1, I try to mention it on the show. So Frank is back. It says pretty cool art on the cover. We've also got a few variant covers that you could check out. Some with just the Punisher logo, some with Frank on them. But yeah, cool little series. If you're a Punisher fan, I'd imagine this would be a comic that you want to get.
A friend introduced me to this comic. I didn't know it was coming out, but I thought it was the Red Band is pretty cool, interesting. And I think on one of those variants was Eric Grove art, and that's the one he picked up.
Nice.
But I see the really good art, and I just love that it's a rated R. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Need more of that.
Spider-Verse vs. Venomverse #5 also dropped. This one is important because we do have a first appearance. It's the first appearance of Cage and also Spider-Venom. So if you are a Spider-Man or Venom fan, I would imagine that this would be a great pickup if you're into those modern comics for them both. We also get a couple variants. One is like the Spider-Man Power Ranger looking comic. And the cover art, it's like a, what would you even, like a character layout sort of thing? Like it's like the design sheet.
Like blueprint.
Yeah, for Spider-Man as a Power Ranger. So kind of cool.
Yeah, that is so great. I had a friend send me that. We were cracking up about it because that's so weird. It's so random, like Power Ranger Venom.
It is. They've been doing random stuff with Spider-Man too, because last week there's a Spider-Man cover. I don't know if you saw it. It's Spider-Man and Stitch, like from Disney, like Lilo and Stitch.
No, I did not see that.
Yeah, they have a.
I love that though. I do love that.
Yeah, they have a cover where like Stitch is basically in like the same pose in the opposite direction as Spider-Man. It's like they're both crawling down the comic. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's a big Stitch fan. I'm gonna have to look for that because
I'll send it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the crossovers because they had like with Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers crossover. You had Batman and Spawn crossover. Like I just love when they do that. It's so fun.
It is. And the other one you got Spider-Man giving a symbiote a nice kick in the face. So pretty cool stuff there. That's all I really had for comics. Moving into gaming news, the only thing I wanted to share, if you had not heard, it was spoiled that Rogue and Gambit will be in season 5 of Marvel Rivals. So you can look forward to playing them both as characters. Kind of surprised it took them this long to get them in the game. I feel like you tend to see them in a lot of the Marvel games right off the bat.
Yeah, I felt like they were trying to keep some characters maybe. I don't play this game. Yeah, get some hype. But my brother loves this game, and I'm surprised how and not that I'm surprised, but I just didn't think it was gonna do that good. But it's
taken off, man.
Yeah, they have comics. Like
there's
I think
multiple
if they go
comic
through,
runs.
like the Marvel Legends, like if they do Marvel Legends of these, I'm pretty sure they will. But it's gonna be crazy.
I agree. And one of the things that we're talking about too is Funko Pops. It's already in Funko. You can pre-order Luna Snow, Jeff the Land Shark, and Magic, as well as a Jeff the Shark keychain right now on Funko Pop's website. So it looks like pre-order estimated ship date is October 20th. So Marvel Rivals is here, man. And I think it's a really good thing. I love what they're doing with it. The game is fun. The comics look great. I was just telling Donnie before the show, I actually want to read the Marvel Rivals comics. I haven't had a chance to yet, but they look great. I think we're going to keep seeing more of this. I think that the game was a way, I think they obviously thought it would be successful, but I think it's bigger than what they thought it would be. And they're rolling with it. And I love it.
They're going to just, dump. And I think that's great though, because this next generation, like Pokemon, all these other stuff, it's out of their grasp, to be able to have that nostalgia. And this is what's going to lead them to have that nostalgia.
Yes.
And hopefully later on, it's going to build into, other things that they could have all these kids like interact with this stuff. And it's a free game, right? So it's like, you just buy the game, or even if you have to buy it, you buy it one time and you play it every day,
Well, yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, it's free. And the best part is exactly what you said, man. It's getting the youth into Marvel. And that's been a big issue with Marvel. Big issue, man. They're
not even Marvel. You're talking anything collectible, like Pokemon, all of this stuff. Like kids can't even get their hands on it. I remember going to the stores or like, hey, you could get one pack, and buy a Yu-Gi-Oh pack or Pokemon pack. Now the kids can't even do that. Like they have some guy going over there and just cleaning them all out, and then you can't even get toys. You can't even get toys now. Like,
I know, it's a whole other world. So yeah, I think Marvel Rivals is great. I'm hoping that it continues to succeed. I'm excited to see what they do with it and where it takes them. I'm very excited for that. So yeah, if you want to get those pre-orders, you can. There's also some other Marvel Pops coming soon. They have a little mech series. They have a Super Avenger, an Iron Man, and a Captain America. They also had the Spider Cat, but it looks like it already closed. It was limited to 5,000 pieces. So
I'm not a fan of Pops at all. But I could see like why kids, it's, of course it's for kids, but like would want these. I think they're pretty cool that they have like, sometimes they have little comics in them, or they have like,
like this one.
They have that little window and they can have people sign it, like whoever voice actor and stuff like that.
Yeah, that part is cool. And I will say, I felt the same way about Pops. And then some people started getting them for me, like as gifts sometimes. And I was like, oh, they're kind of cool. And then all of a sudden I found myself like looking more and more. And now I like very casually collect them. I have like no goals, no real reason for wanting one over another. It's just maybe a couple times a year.
Didn't like you much.
Yeah. That's
No, I'm just kidding.
That's common occurrence with me. There are some new releases too with Pop. If you are into Funko, you've got a nice Ghost Rider. Shout out to our friend William talking about how we recognize characters and our friends.
That's William right there.
But yeah, it looks like they're doing a little Strange Tales run. So you got Ghost Rider.
Is that a Human Torch?
Dormammu.
Oh no, Dormammu.
Yeah, it's Dormammu. Cool. Yep. You've got a Mephisto and a Hollow's Eve. So pretty cool. Hollow's Eve has some history with Scarlet Witch as well. Yeah. And then you've got Morbius, and that ends the Strange Tales section. You've got a new Spider-Man symbiote bonding, a Blade, and then a couple zombies in preparation for Marvel Zombies. So if you're into Marvel Funko, certainly some cool stuff to check out. All right. And my last update is not directly Marvel related, but I love to talk about Perna Studios on this show. Tony and Elaine Perna are amazing artists, have done many great things with Marvel art. And they have their own studio, Perna Studios, where they release these card sets a few times a year. And it's all original art. And it's all typically non-licensed IP. So this one is Halloween 6, Alone in the Dark. And the best part, and the reason why I love mentioning on this show, is they get this crew of amazing artists, many of which also
some of the best, man.
Yeah, and many of them have worked on countless Marvel sets, some Marvel comics. So we've got Mike Munshaw here that's just doing amazing sketch cards. And when you buy these sets, you can buy them. They have different ways to purchase. But in most of the packs, don't quote me on this, we'll have to see how they set up this set. But I believe last time, all the packs, you were guaranteed a sketch. So you get a pack, you're guaranteed a random sketch. And that's just so cool to be guaranteed original art, possibly from an incredible artist that you may enjoy from Marvel. So I just wanted to show.
And what it is that they really understand the collector, and they really know what to, they've been doing it for so long. So they know what we want. They take all the filler stuff out, and like, you have the options too. You could get like the pack with the actual sketch, or like the one that has like the full set. So like I don't want to like say too much because I'm not too familiar on how the packs and stuff work, but I'm definitely going to support because they just have some amazing artists, and Tony and Perna, like, they're part of the hobby. Like, if you don't know who they are, like, crazy.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, I talk a lot on this show about supporting artists directly, especially in these times now that Upper Deck lost a license and sketch card artists lost a lot of support from that. What better way than to support an artist that we love who's running this company, two artists that we love that run this company, and then they bring on board all these other amazing artists like Mike Munshaw that you see here. You've got Danielle Ellison showcase some sketch cards. She's
Munshaw,
really cool. Yeah, I know. You got Kinho Anderson, who's done some amazing stuff. Lynn Anderson, who has some really nice sketch cards here. You've got the Glebe twins, Mick and Matt, who, I mean, many of you probably know who they are, but I mean, look at this jack-o'-lantern. They did this jack-o'-lantern card. It looks real. I don't even know how they did that on a sketch, man. Like, it's just crazy. They've got a werewolf, and it's all themed after Halloween. Like I said, so there's a werewolf. They've got this like little devil girl on there. Hoi Trong has some of my favorites. He's got some different witches here, like a Grim Reaper style. Almost looks like Death, to be honest. Don't you think? Cool. Don't you think that kind of looks like Death?
Yeah.
So pretty cool there. Lindsay Grayling, who's an awesome artist. I feel like she doesn't get enough love, but she has this really cool chibi style.
A lot of variety here.
And that's what I love as we're going through these. And we were talking about this earlier. It's very well balanced, right? There's a little something for everyone. So like you said, the variety is just fantastic. Liz Chesterman.
Yeah, it's a win-win. You're getting a sketch guaranteed. So it's like, I don't see why people don't want to participate in this.
I'm definitely participating. Thinking about getting, if you participate and any of our other friends, I'm thinking about doing a big live stream, like just reveal, and we'll all open our stuff.
Let's do it.
Yeah. That's what I want to do. We'll do it on the Hermit Style YouTube page where I post this podcast. It'll be fun. This is the last artist I'll showcase from the set, Oliver Castaneda. He did my favorite one, which is this witch sketch. Go figure that my favorite one's a witch, but it's this witch riding away on her broom with a black cat. And Castaneda just does these amazing backgrounds. Like, the backgrounds are so vibrant. I don't even know how to explain it. I just love it.
I've been missing a Tony Perna sketch because his backgrounds are crazy. I've just been waiting for OAX because of that. But I just want to get it in person. But yes, like, that background right there is like, I just don't get how they do that. I don't get it. I try and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I do a solid color.
Dude, well, the best part of the Perna Studio sets too is you can get a Tony Perna sketch. Typically, Tony and Elaine both do sketches in the sets that you can get. Now, they typically don't have as many, so they're harder to get. But yeah, you may get lucky and pull one. And, speaking of that, that's a really good segue into pickups.
The Collector's Hall.
So the Collector's Hall is where we talk about our new pickups for the week. Typically, I have my guests go first, but Donnie, I'm going to share my first pickup because you set me up for it. We're going to OAX.
Oh, you are?
Yep. Bro. So we got our tickets. We're going. My wife and I will be there. I am super, super pumped. I had so much FOMO last year for not going, seeing all of our friends there, all the videos.
Same here.
If you are not familiar with OAX, it's the Original Art Expo. It's this amazing convention. I'm telling you right now, I promise you, if you are watching this show and you have made it, we're like 45, 48 minutes in right now, something like that. You like OAX. Like, you will have the time of your life.
Love it.
Yes, it is. This is made for you. It is not like your Galaxy Cons. It is not like your Comic Cons and all these other events. Not saying they're bad, but it is not like them.
It's just a different experience.
Totally
it's a way different experience. When you're in cons, and everybody knows like you're all, you know, bunched up. Like you could see a piece from a distance, can't really get in there because there's people like in the way. Here you get to like really appreciate the art and see all this crazy art that you probably won't ever see anywhere else all together in one spot. Like there's Frank Frazetta, you have science fiction,
just sitting there, like Neil you can hold it.
Yeah, you can see it right there. It's like you get to actually, you know, appreciate the pieces to a deeper extent because you get to see the brush strokes. You get to, and then interact with some of the artists that are actually there.
Yeah.
Like Dave Finch.
It's such a more intimate setting, right? And like when I think of the really big cons, not that OAX isn't big. I think OAX is getting, honestly, growing extremely quick.
No, it definitely is. Really fast.
But when I think of OAX, I think of it's so intimate and it's so focused on the community, which is something that I think the other cons start to lose because they're so big, right? You just naturally start to lose that. And it starts to feel, I don't know, like the last Galaxy Con I went to, I'm a long time attendee of the con. It just felt like I was in this corporate retail setting. It felt very corporate.
Yeah.
OAX is the opposite. You've got Cassera on all these different community live streams. You've got all these artists that are involved in the community that are going to be there. And you can go get commissions directly from the artist. You can go to the OAX website. And that's what I want to talk about my pickup. I did commission Tony Perna. So he's going to be doing a 2-character full color sketch for me of Scarlet Witch and Vision. And I'm super pumped on that.
He's going to kill it.
He's been on my list of artists that I really want some art by. So I can't wait for that. And I also commissioned Uranga to do a sketch card for me as well. So I've got 2 commissions booked for the show. And it's going to be a blast, man.
I'm happy that you're going because like this, to have everybody there all at once, like all of us hang out, that's like, it gives us a reason to go somewhere, because if not, like if it was just like a con or something, like it's kind of hard to get everybody there. But when we go to this, it's like made for the hobby.
It's like, the place. It's the place to go.
Yeah, for sure. And it's an experience. I didn't get to go, but I got to see it through live streams and you know, Raj, Maddie, everybody else talk about it and explain it, pretty much give us the details on what they experienced. And it seems like nothing but fun for sure.
Yeah. And you know, me coming from a trading card game background, when you are competitive in the trading card game space, you're going to go to regional events. And if you do well, you're going to go to national events. So it was a given that I was going to see all my friends and the guys that I knew at these big events, right? Like, oh yeah, I know. Like I'll see you in Atlanta, I'll see you in Texas, I'll see you in California, whatever. Everyone's going to be there. In the collecting world, we don't really have that. It's not like, oh yeah, everyone has to be at New York Comic Con. Like, no, I don't. You know, like, why do I have to be at New York Comic Con?
Why?
But OAX, man, like they cater so much to what we do and what we're passionate about. It's getting to that point where it's like, no, I have to be there. You know, like I have to be there. And
you don't have to spend money. It's just to have fun, to see things. Like
I heard from multiple people that spent nothing and they had a blast.
Yeah, you get a free sketch. Like, man,
it's a no-brainer. If you do have the means to get there and at least get your tickets to get in the door, I would recommend going. And if you are going, please let me know. I'm hoping to meet tons of amazing people in the community while I'm there and see all my great friends like Donny and everybody else. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. But I will stop stealing your thunder, Donny. Do you have any pickups that you wanted to share?
You know, I do have pickups. You
don't have to. You don't have to.
Oh, no. That's cool. I'll actually have a couple that I really want to share.
Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. That's how you know these things are not scripted. I'm like, do you have pickups? I have no idea.
So I just want to shout out Dre. And I say it every time, and I'm pretty sure he gets tired of hearing it. But Dre is my favorite artist, sketch card artist, and for acrylics. And I have to like section certain people because Tony Perna is my favorite color pencil artist. And then we have like plenty of other artists that are amazing, but Dre is always helping me out. And we did this piece together. I did the pencils and then we painted it together. And he did it step by step with me, like, hey, this is what you're gonna do here, and we're gonna use this color. And so he had these, and I said, I want to buy those. Like, don't sell them. He put them up, and I said, no, take both of them. And so This is one of them.
Whoa. Oh man. Holy crap. What a Joker. So Donny has this amazing joke. Now is the color all paint or is it like mixed media?
No, it's just all acrylic. Yeah. All acrylic. So this is the Heath Ledger one. And he did this is how good Dre is. We did one together, and as I'm still working on mine because I'm slow, he went and did another one. And so this is the first one this is the second one he did, Heath Ledger style, and then this is the first one we did, and this is the one that I kind of like.
Holy
so he did two
crap.
of them, and I still have the other one. I'm not even done yet.
Wow.
But
dude, those are phenomenal, man.
Yeah,
I need to get a Dre sketch one day.
Good. You really do. Like
what I need I really need a Donny sketch one day. Because if the audience doesn't know, which I'm sure they just figured out, Donny is an amazing artist himself.
Well, I appreciate that. And you already know, I already got you. So here is, we had a Comic-Con that just passed.
Yeah.
Tucson Comic-Con. There was quite a bit of artists there, and it was interesting this time around because most of the time when Comic-Cons come around, I'm looking for comics and toys, and now that I've been getting back into art, this is the first con I got to go to, me getting back into art. So like I took a different approach to it where I'm like, I'm going down artist alley, talking to every single artist just to get to know them, see their styles. I got to talk to quite a bit of people that we just got to art out, just like nerd out on art. And it was really, really fun. And so I got to meet Bill Morrison, the guy that created Simpsons.
Okay.
And Futurama.
Wow.
And what blew my mind was he actually was the artist for The Land Before Time. And that is one of my all-time favorite movies. Whoa. Like it's literally number one for animation. Like love that movie. And then he also did Oliver and Company, which is in my top 5 as well.
Wow.
And he did the poster for that. So it was just crazy. But I was looking through his stuff, and he had original art there, and he had a Batman, Joker. It was like Bob Kane and Winslow Mortimer type of style. So I said, can you please just do me a Batman? And so this is what he came up with.
Wow. So cool, bro.
Yeah. And,
that's awesome. So for audio listeners, it's like a black and white Batman sketch that he signed at the bottom. Looks really nice.
And he, of course, this is on Raj's.
Oh, nice. Yep. So our buddy Raj, who you would have seen on the show a few weeks back, Wolverine Claws Out, he has his own sketch card stock. I have one as well. I don't know who I'm going to get to draw on it, but I definitely need to put it to good use. That's awesome, man.
Yep. And then so one other person that was there, Kevin Eastman.
Okay.
And I just want to shout out my friend Jesus. Don't even worry if you guys know him on Instagram. I'm pretty sure you guys do. Everybody calls him Doom. He was able to send me a cardstock from TMNT to be able to get a sketch card, and he just gave it to me, bro.
Wow.
Like this cardstock is not easy to find, and he's like, "Hey, I want you to have that." And so I was able to get Kevin Eastman to do a Batman sketch for me. And
whoa, so cool, bro.
Yeah. So I was just like, just shout out to Doom. Such a good friend, and I appreciate that very much.
That's cool. Awesome, bro. That's awesome. Yeah. And shout out Doom. Shout out he does a podcast as well. I don't know if they're still doing it, but NSDC podcast, they got some great content up there.
One of my favorite. Yeah. They need to Doom. You need to get on that, Doom. I need my next
episode,
man. Bro.
We're waiting. I've been bored at work.
These ones, I'll do a post of who the artist is. I don't know their names. I have their information, but I'll just, show these pretty fast. Some more sketch cards I got done there.
Oh man, you've been going in on sketch cards, bro. That's an amazing Batgirl.
I had a lot of fun. A lot of fun at this con this time around. There's this one.
Okay, so we've got another sketch of Batman, black and white. It's like a portrait style. Very cool. And then another portrait style black.
Yeah, this guy right here, bro. His art is amazing. He does some really, really fine art style. And he did that, like, I would say not even 10 minutes, bro. Like just boom,
Wow.
boom, boom, signed it. And he's talking to me. So like we're conversating and just knocked it out. And I said, okay, how much? And he's like, nope, I love doing that. You can
No
for nothing.
kidding.
And I'm like, no, like, please.
Yeah, yeah,
So he's
yeah.
like, okay. I put in his tip, his little jar that he had inside. He's like, well, I appreciate that. And he's like, I just do it to conversate here. And just a really cool guy.
Wow.
But these would be the last two I want to show because these ones are pretty important to me. I wish I had more Marvel, but I haven't. There's a couple stuff that's coming in.
You've been going all in on
soon.
Batman, man.
Bro, Batman's my favorite character. It's an easy yes for me. Like, if it was Wolverine cards, it's an easy yes for me too. And I'm actually going to get back into I have a good game plan. I'm getting back into collecting Wolverine and Iron Man, and you'll start to see me. Of course, we know Raj collects Wolverine, so I'm not trying to steal any Raj's cards. Okay, Raj? No, but I'm gonna. There's a certain book that I really love, and it's nothing crazy. I just want to get some comic cuts from that, and that's it. But this one is a printing plate from Batman Essentials, the Hush storyline.
Oh, nice.
This is by Cryptozoic.
Oh, man. Wow.
And I love this plate because
that is a great printing plate.
Yeah, this book is the variant, and it's an alternate cover, right? And they did 608 and 609, both of those books into one and reprinted it.
Okay.
And they did a whole new cover for that book, and that's what this book is here. And I have this book, and I also have I'm looking for a newsstand of that book. That's the main reason I wanted that. And then probably one of the bigger cards that I've been wanting. This is
oh boy,
from Dark Knight's Metal, and this is signed by Jim Lee.
Wow! Whoa! Yeah. Holy crap! So, what's the other auto on there?
Jim Lee and Scott Williams, which is the inker.
So you got a dual auto.
The pencil and the inker.
Wow, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Jim Lee, that is on my list to one day have a Jim Lee auto.
Oh man, I love Jim Lee. And speaking of Jim Lee though, real fast, this is a pickup, but it's on the comic side.
Okay.
Side of things.
Yeah, sure.
But
we do everything
this is
here.
What I always say. Yeah,
we don't discriminate.
Like, do your research, have a good understanding. And yes, like I'm a Batman and Wolverine collector, but I've done research on Spider-Man and Captain America and all these other characters. So that way you're not always gonna find your PC. It's like cards. You never pull your PC character. Never, right? So you have to go out of your way. But when you have opportunities and you see things that like I'm not a Superman fan, but I see a book. And that book I know that's like a $200 book and they have it for $30. Like I'm going to buy it, use that to trade to be able to get a Batman book, you know?
Yep.
And that's one thing that's really hard to do in Marvel trading cards, or I think in trading cards overall, like DC as well, is to have the hobby fund itself. And I'm a big, I just feel like that's what also makes it fun. And like my little brother, he doesn't have a lot of money. So like, he would work with me on the weekends and stuff. And the little bit of money he had, he found ways to be able to buy books, flip them, buy books, flip them, and then trade, buy a certain book and trade that for like the book he wanted. And like the book he really wanted, and I was really like impressed on how he was able to do all of this, was he got an Elektra's first appearance. It's Daredevil 168.
Nice.
In a Mark Jewelers.
Wow.
That book it's like really hard to find. I think if you go on eBay, I don't think you could find a Mark Jewelers on eBay right now.
No kidding.
They're just really hard to find. And he did that. Like he traded, sold, bought, flipped, then was able to go and find this at a con and buy it outright for himself.
That's too cool, man. Amazing. That's too cool.
This is one that I found, and it's Gen 13, issue 13, but a lot of people don't know that J. Scott Campbell worked on this, but also Jim Lee did the covers. They had variant covers. And this is signed by Jim Lee.
Wow.
Yeah, and the gold right here. And then,
man.
It's double signed. This is signed by I want to say this. Yeah, this is the writer. The writer.
Wow, bro, that's crazy.
But if you know what you're looking for, I found this and I bought it for I bought it for $20, but it's maybe like
What?
A double signed? Yeah, bro. Like it was just in the box and I'm at the con and I'm like, I was like, and I seen it. I just pulled it up and I just seen Gen 13, but I know this run and I'm like, oh, that's a cool one. And I pulled it up more and I'm like, what? And I know Jim Lee's signature, you know, I'm like,
yeah,
bro, I put it with other books and I said, give me,
done.
I'll take this whole stack right here.
Wow, man. What a pickup.
What a pickup for sure. And so I was able to get that. And with comic books, like I've said, I love to collect different things where you get tired of seeing the same book over and over. Like ASM 50, First Appearance of Kingpin. Like I love the book, but like you see the same books over and over on Instagram. And so I was like, I want to find something different. Like it doesn't have to be pricey books, you know, just have fun with it, collect your own unique way. And this was another book that I was able to pick up at the con. And I'm a big fan of fanzines. They're called fanzines. So
okay,
they would make these to show off people's art or
cool, yeah. Okay,
the books that they worked on, almost like a checklist. And then they would use these also for like upcoming books that are going to be released. So this one has Captain America and Batman.
Okay.
And then on the back it has Moon Knight and Spider-Man.
Oh, that's awesome. Dude, nice. That is a really cool book.
Really happy to get that because I just love fanzines. And then this probably will lead to our next topic here, but I will show them and we could get into it later if you like.
Okay.
But I bought some Spider-Man books there. And what makes these interesting.
Oh, man. Okay.
So we have Spider-Man. That is issue 274. We have the Web of Spider-Man 22, which I love the black suit Spidey. That is something I would keep in the PC.
Yeah, that's dope.
And then we also have this Spider-Man here.
Very cool.
And this is Web of Spider-Man 51. And what makes these unique is that they're all Mark Jewelers.
Wow.
So just really hard to find any ASM in Mark Jewelers, and then especially in these grades. So I had a lot of fun at that con, and I picked up really good stuff. I picked up really cool stuff, and it was just a good time. I got sketches out of it, got to talk with everybody. You know, I have a lot of friends that, you know, they just travel wherever the cons are at, but they're not from Tucson. But every year I get to see them at the Tucson Comic Con and catch up.
That's fun.
So
that's fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
That's awesome, man. Well, my pickups will not be nearly as exciting as Donnie's pickups, but that's okay. I keep getting guests that outdo me, and I love it because that's what I want. But I did get some more Marvel Rivals cards for the last few weeks. I feel like every week I've gotten some sort of new card from the Marvel Rivals Cockawell set. I guess the lowest number one I got is this Scarlet Witch. This is the number 50 out of 50. This is the orange refractor parallel.
Omega?
Yep. This is the Omega.
Nice.
So it's number 50 out of 50 there. So, and funny enough, I guess I got this one in a break at the same time I won one in an auction on eBay. So I now have two.
It always works out that way.
Of the orange out of 50. So for some reason you need the Scarlet Witch out of 50, let me know. One of them will be going up for trade or sale very soon. I've also decided I'm going to try to pick up the Jeff cards. There's not that many of them. Jeff got his own insert where each card is just a different picture of Jeff dressed up as something else. Or just like cool. Doing some weird pose. So
that character just took off, man. Like
really taken off.
Everybody wants Jeff.
I know. There's only 10 of them, so I was like, you know, I think I'm just going to try and pick up all 10. It'll be a cool little set to have. I'm also trying to pick up the complete poster set. So I did pick up another poster card, and you've got Reed Richards and Sue at their wedding. Little poster, pretty cool. They're all numbered out of 100, cool. But they're really not hard to pick up. Like I'm getting them some as cheap as like $5-10 a card. You know, some are a little more, but it's not bad.
I've always said this, like I've collected Kakawao and Finding Unicorn, and I've had a lot of fun collecting both of those. Especially with the Evolution set, Finding Unicorn, that's what like really got me into collecting that foreign stuff. Or but I think those are gonna have they're gonna have an uprise like right now because
dude, Kakawao is positioned perfectly, bro. They could not be positioned better to take a lot of market share.
I've been saying this because I know people say, oh, it's going to be hard for it to get in the US, but there's breakers on Whatnot. There's plenty of breakers on Whatnot.
It's here. It's not hard to get in the US. It is not hard.
Yeah, it's not. And I know they don't have the rights to like sell to like, you know, you can do pre-orders or whatever. I'm pretty sure there's ways, but not to the average person. But yeah, I just the quality's there. Images are amazing. Just some of their the Aura set. I was really impressed with that set.
It's cool.
Like that set is just.
I just got a big card, a real big Aura card. I'm not going to share it yet. Oh,
really?
Though. I'll keep it a surprise for the podcast.
I love it.
It'll probably be in for next week's show.
Crazy.
But yeah, I'll give away this.
You know how big that set was?
It's a numbered out of 10. It's a numbered out of 10.
Dang,
but I won't share what it is.
Okay, Hermit. All right.
I'm excited.
You know how big that set was? Is that I had a sports guy hitting me up saying, hey, do you know anything about this? He's never collected Marvel ever.
Wow.
And he's like,
that's impressive.
He's like, I love these cards. Like, they're so interesting. And so I gave him the rundown, and bro, he's a Marvel collector now. Like he's like, oh, did you see this card? Hey, did you see this top stuff? Do you see this? But he loved that set, and it just got him into it. But yeah, the quality's there, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, no, I'm liking it so far. I'm really liking it. I did pick up a few comic cuts. I'm not going to share all of them because I got, I think, like 8 new. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, no, I think I got 8 new cuts. But I do want to show off a few of them. Most of them came from the seller. That, dude, this was so nice. They put them in these nice cases, these like screw down cases.
Oh, I love.
And they all came in that. And I was like,
all of them?
Yeah, and I got a bunch of them and they put every one in this case. I was like, whoa.
Wow.
So, but this is Avengers 17. Yeah. This is the first. So Avengers 16 is when Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver join the Avengers. 17 is when Scarlet Witch actually gets to like use her powers for the first time in a meaningful way. So it's an important issue for me to collect. So I was really excited that they had that. All the issues I got from that person too are all older issues like Silver Age. I did get another Avengers vs. X-Men auto cut. So we've got this one here. We've got Scarlet.
Oh, is that the? Oh yeah. I love those.
Yep. So we've got Scarlet. Here, I'll make sure I turn it this way too.
I know a lot of people ain't fans of those, but
I like
that one.
I just wish that the card was totally this orientation. Like, I don't know why the background is this orientation, but then the panels of the cuts are vertical while the others are horizontal. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. Like one's portrait, one's landscape. I don't get it. But still a cool card. This is my second one I've gotten from Avengers vs. X-Men. So nice little auto cut there. And then the last one is my biggest pickup. Last week on the show, I was telling Justin I needed one more cut to complete my 9-page for X-Men 4 comic cuts, and it is here. I picked up the 9th X-Men 4 comic cut, so now my first page in my comic cut binder is a complete page of all X-Men 4 cuts.
Congrats, bro.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and this cut, for those listening, it's Professor X, and I'm trying to see who that even is in the background. I can't remember off the top of my head. Is that Jean? I think it might be. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I think it's Jean. Yeah, I think it's Jean. But yeah, so a nice little Professor X, Jean Grey comic cut from X-Men 4. So that will go in the binder. And I think what I'm going to do is now anytime another X-Men 4 cut comes up, if it's better than the 9 I have, I'll pick it up and then I will trade one of the ones that I like the least. And I'll just keep improving that page. Yep. So that's my plan.
I agree with you on that because that's how I'm going to start getting into it, where I just want to have, depending on the issue, like 9 page and that's it. Like, and if I need to replace as I go, cool. I don't mind having some that are mediocre, and then later on I could always trade them. But if I have the 9 already there, I'm happy.
Well, I want to dive more into that, Donny. So let's jump into it.
Today's focus.
So speaking of how you collect, I think you've shared a lot about what you collect. I think the listeners have a pretty good grasp on the different characters you collect and the ways, some of the different just items that you go after. What are your criteria for collecting? Like, how do you know what comics you want to go after? And I guess this is more for your own PC, right? Like, how are you picking what cards you go after, what comics you go after? Can you share some of the criteria that you use?
You know, some of it's nostalgia.
Okay.
But mainly I like to do a deep dive on a character. So like Batman, I did a crazy deep dive. Like I thought I knew Batman. I was like, oh, like getting back into it. I'm like, oh yeah, I love Batman. I know this.
Yeah.
But there's so much little like things on, like I think we talked about this, where little phrases, and it doesn't have, a lot of people think, oh, key book, I want key books. Like I collect like that too. I want key books, but there's certain books that just have I think it's X-Men 131, and that is Wolverine's first like solo story. And in there, it's like his first solo story. He's on the cover, and it's just cool to see that. Like it's not a key book, but it's like his first solo story that
it's a
has
big
to do
moment
with
for him as a character,
his origin. Yeah, you know, so something like that is like a cool way to collect. And then I think in the beginning, that's one thing, is you could get overwhelmed. And
yeah,
when I got into Marvel cards, like I didn't know what character I wanted. Like I wanted to collect Wolverine, and then I got 11 or 10 cards deep, and I seen how expensive it was, and I said, nah, it's just not obtainable. Like, and comic cuts weren't crazy. I wasn't like, I knew about them, but I wasn't hunting them, you know, like I didn't know which sets had them and all of that. So it's not like there was a checklist. And that's another thing, you have to do your research. So as I got into collecting more, I have a better understanding of, oh, they did this book in this set, this book in this set. But like you have to like break it down to the characters you want. And mine was for comics, it was easy. It was Batman and Wolverine. And when I got into Marvel cards, I wanted to change it up, so I went the Iron Man route. But I had to go back to the comics to have a better understanding of Iron Man, so I could know how to collect in Marvel cards. And one thing I seen right off the bat was, when I got into collecting, I always wondered, why don't people match their cards to their comics? Like, I feel like that's a no-brainer. Like, but then I quickly realized not everybody collects the cards and the comics. Like, they're just one or the other, you know? And I think it's a great way to make your collection unique, is to have some of those comics correlate to the cards that you collect. Just like with you, that you have X-Men #4, like you want that book to go with your comic cut. And I think it's amazing. Like it just makes your collection more unique and more personal to you. And it doesn't have to be that book. It could be, you know, a dollar bin book, but it's something that, you know, that you love, or you just love this cover, or you love when Wanda says this to Vision, or it's the first time they kiss, like stuff like that. Yeah. I just think it's cool to be able to go back to the main source and then bring the two together.
That's dope. That's dope. So it's a lot of, so it feels like a lot of your criteria for collecting is moments from the comics that you enjoy, and then tying that back into the cards. Yep, exactly, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I remember I posted maybe like 3 years ago, whenever Spider-Man Metal came out, but the Wolverine card, that's a comic book cover.
Yeah.
And that I noticed it right away. I was like, oh shoot, I have that book. So I went on my way and bought the base card, and then I just paired them together. And it was one of my first like Marvel card posts I ever put. And it was just like the card and then the comic kind of off centered, but it lined up perfect to look like it's just the comic still.
Yeah.
And then I seen that, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that on my comic cuts. So I did that like early on, but the way I used to post back then, I'm ashamed of myself for ever posting those, the quality and everything. I'm like, oh God. So I took those off like real fast. And then
you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. And so then after that, like comic cuts, I just love to see the comic cut with the book, like opening that page to the page and finding it, and like making sure, because that's another thing that I figured out, is that they don't use the actual comics, like the actual original source of that comic. They use reprints sometimes. And I found that out with Hulk 340. And Hulk 340 is an iconic cover by Todd McFarlane. And when I seen the comic cut, I was like, is that glossy paper? Like, how is, like, that's not a glossy paper book. And then found out it was from like a omnibus, or like some kind of reprint. We can never know, but I'm assuming omnibus, because if you have an omnibus, you have all those books in there, you know, so they could just boom, make a cut, make another cut. They have the whole book there. They don't need to go buy individual issues, you know?
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, you do have to be careful about that too, especially if that's something that's important to you, that you have the original cut.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's something you definitely
there
want
was
to
a
look
book
into.
that I was literally like interested in it, and then I found out about that and I was like, okay, never mind. Like
Nope.
I don't want that.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
So I see you've got this display behind you with a lot of your collectibles displayed. How do you store and display things?
You know, I put stuff up so you won't see my mess right now because I've been so busy this past 2-3 months that I keep like wanting to get back into, you know, storing everything properly, which it's stored properly, but like organizing it.
Yeah.
And like most of my main PC, like all of my Batman books and everything that's really like, oh, this I'm keeping this. Like the only way I would trade it or sell it is to get a higher grade of that book. All of that stuff I keep at my mom's house. And then most of the stuff that I don't mind I could trade or sell, or you know, give to friends is here at my house. So I display some of my books up here and some of the toys, but it's not none of them like my higher end stuff. It's just cool stuff that I love. And you know, like up there is the Demon in a Bottle storyline, and
Okay.
that's just one of the most iconic Iron Man covers. And it's just I just love that book. But what makes that book special, it's an error double cover.
Whoa.
So it was off the factory. They, you know, had two covers stuck together, and that's how
Oh,
they made
wow.
that book. So
Wow.
I love finding stuff like that too. I love errors.
That's
Like
cool.
promos and errors on the trading cards is just I don't know. I just love that. I love finding stuff like that.
So how do you, when like the stuff, like your high end stuff that you store at your mom's house, how is that stored? Or do you have it in binders? Do you have it in boxes?
So with well, mainly everything that's over there is all just comics and
Just
toys.
comics.
I don't
Okay.
have
So all your
yeah, I have
cards
all
are
my
with you.
cards.
Okay.
Yeah, all my cards are here with me. It's a lot easier for me to store smaller, you know, have binders. But with the comic side, everything that is PC is in Mylar, and it's either clear backing or a double backer. So it's just here it is, this backing board here. It's a lot thicker. This one has some flex to it. You can kind of see that it has a little bit of flex to it. With the ones that I use, like you can't bend those.
Okay.
And I put them in Mylars just because with Mylar, if you see here, this book is dropped all the way down to the bottom.
Yes.
And with Mylars, it keeps that from happening. So
Gotcha.
your book could be perfectly centered, so it has that gap at the bottom.
Gotcha.
And that way your
Okay.
book, you know, if you put them in your long box or short box and it drops down, now you have it almost close to the bottom, and then any
get damaged
from
Mm-hmm.
get damaged. So I leave them in that, and then I have them in short boxes, some long boxes too, but they're like these BCW. What is that? I think it's BCW.
BCW. Yep.
Yeah, BCW, and they're like these plastic bins instead of like just regular cardboard. These are like plastic, and they have dividers in them, and then I have them divided by the year. I wish I had more Golden Age Batman, but I only have one short box of Golden Age, and then the rest is Silver Age. And it goes by the year.
Got it.
So,
Got it. Okay.
I love the vintage stuff. It's just something about vintage anything. It could be, you know, a vintage Barbie doll. I don't care. Like when you have something that's that old in your hands, it's just cool. Like it's cool to know that how many other hands, like what is a story to get to where it's at right now in your hands, you know? And I've always loved that about comics too, is like when they have, I don't go out of my way to pay extra money for that, but they have, in comics they have what is it called, like collections, like oh, this is the secret sound collection, which is really a collection that they have that there was a promise collection where this brother promised he would never sell his comic, and so got all those graded, and CGC was able to make them their own label up top in the top right corner of the secrets or the promise collection. And I think like just hearing those stories like that is really interesting.
Yeah.
Some of the books, like the older it's I'm drawing a blank right now, but they call that something. And those older collection ones are pretty, they do sell for more than what the book actually is. So if the book normally sells for $500 and a 7.0, this book probably reaches like 600 or 620 because of the provenance behind it. But Yeah, that's how I collect. I keep all my books there, and I have a room there. That's why I have two daughters, and now I have a 1-year-old. So I'm like, everything stays over there. I don't want nothing to get messed up. But the things I pick up, like these books, they're not in Mylars yet. Some of these probably won't go in Mylars, but they will go in new bags and boards.
Okay.
And that those are just stuff that I keep for like trade bait, or I know a friend, shout out Manu or RMS. I know they'd probably be interested in this one because it's a Mark Jewelers and they love Black Suit Spidey. So probably hit them up, see if they're interested in it, or probably just send it to them. They're always good to me too. So it's just cool to have friends like that, like especially with Raj. Actually, let me show you this. I picked this up for Raj because he's been collecting comic cuts from this issue.
Oh boy.
And so I was able to find this and make a trade. I sold 3 books and he wanted it. He's like, oh, let's be at 1,000. I said, no, I'm at 1,100. And he's like, and I looked it. Raj had just got lucky, but of course I was looking for it. But I was like this. I was like, no, I want to be at 1,100. And I turned to the side on his wall, and this book was literally right in my face. And I said, oh, I could do 1,000 in this book. So then I was able to get this book for him. So
no way, man.
This is first appearance of Alpha Flight.
Oh, that's so cool. And which
cool
issue is that?
This is issue 121. And my favorite one is 122. It's a black cover, and I just have something for black covers. It's just, first of all, of course, they're harder to find in high grade because on the black covers, you get color rub. You get one spine tick. Oh, you could see that spine tick, a mile away. So I just love high grade black covers, but this is his favorite out of those. Well, actually the first one. So
that's awesome, man.
And he has comic cuts from this issue that he could kind of pair up with this book. It's a really clean book too. It's really nice. So yeah, got that for him.
Donny, man, nicest dude. That's awesome,
that's what
bro.
the hobby's about, though. It's like I love shopping for other people.
Yeah.
I just love like doing the hunt for them, and like if I'm out,
it's so exciting, man. Hey, you're like, oh man, like Donny would love that. Yep.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's so fun, man.
I agree. Well, so I want to help our audience understand a little bit more about comics. I think there's certainly people listening who are vets that have been collecting comics forever, but if I were to assume, I would assume that there's a lot of us that are listening, like me, who really have almost no experience collecting comics, and they're mainly in the cards or maybe more into like the art, like sketch cards or even original art. But I want to just go over some of the basics, and I think you're the perfect person to help us understand. So let's start with covers. Okay. Can you just share a little bit about like the different types of covers that you can get on these books? Because some people may not even know that there are different covers for the books that they like.
Yeah. So I'm not a huge modern collector, right? And what I mean by modern is like present. And where I stopped collecting is for Marvel, it's 2007, and for DC, it's 2014.
Wow. Okay.
And the reason why is because that's the year that Marvel and DC ended their newsstand. So DC continued on a little longer than Marvel did, but that's where I draw the line. So I said, okay, I'll stop here because, with Wolverine, I know I could collect newsstands up to that. And especially like in the 2000s, late 2010s, newsstands are really hard to come by. But yeah, so that's where I stopped collecting. But my brother started collecting the modern stuff. And so I got more familiar with it because of him wanting to collect the more recent stuff, like things that were coming out as the movies were coming out. And there's ratio variance. And what it is with ratio variance is if it's a ratio out of 50, the comic shop has to purchase 50 of cover A or cover B. Sometimes there's a cover C, but they had to purchase 50 of those comics to be able to receive one of those comics. And there's ratios that go up to 1,000.
Wow.
Like the Gargoyles, I wanted that 1,000 ratio just because it was signed, and it was just an amazing cover. But there's ratios out of 1,000, so I had to buy 1,000 of the regular covers just to be able to get one of those. So you could with the modern stuff, I'll pick up modern stuff if it's at cover price, but you just got to be really careful because with those ratios, I've never seen a ratio sell the same as what it sold for when it first came out a month later. Like I've never seen it. And this is just me, you know, I'm pretty sure it's happened, but since I've started, you know, keeping an eye on those ratios, there's very little. Like I think there's one that I know about was a Wolverine book. It was by Greg Capullo. That one I've seen hold its value, but others, if it's a ratio, normally it's $1 per ratio. So if it's and this is what it should be. I'm not saying this is for every book, but if it's like a nothing book, not a key book, doesn't really have any significance to it, and the ratio is out of 25, it should sell for around $25, right? That's what it should be.
That's like the average.
But sometimes you'll get them a ratio that's an out of 50 ratio that you can buy for $10. Like, you just got to be careful because don't catch into the FOMO, because it's just like cards. Like what's new and what's hot right now, of course, is going to sell for more. But then like with Upper Deck, there's sets I waited. Okay, now I'm a buyer at, you know, for this price, but just give it time and those books will drop. And of course, there's going to be those books that don't drop, but most of the time you're going to have, you know, them come back to a realistic price and you can have fun, you know, collecting. And the way I collect, I'm always stuck in the past. I'm never like, boom, this is what's new, I'm buying. Like I'm always, if I'm a collector for more modern stuff, I'm probably like 3 months behind collecting that stuff. And just kind of working. That's how I would collect it if I did, like work my way, keep going, like stay behind the trends, because it's going to save you money in the long run. But you also got to do your research, because there could be books that you won't be able to get again, you know? So like
that's the scary part,
where you got to do your research. Yep. Yeah, that's where you got to do your research, have a better understanding, like the Hush storyline, Hush storyline 2, Hush 2. That this book here is one of my favorite runs, and this is the Batman Hush storyline, signed by Jim Lee in a newsstand in a 9.8.
I feel like every other thing Donny shows, like, and it's signed by Jim Lee.
Jim Lee, yeah. So like this book though, I love the Hush storyline, and then Hush 2 came out maybe like a month ago, and it's still going. But when I was like, oh, there's this ratio out of 1,000, a ratio out of 1,000, bro. And I was like, no, that's too crazy. Like I can't, there's no way I could even want to be in that ballpark to spend that money on modern. I couldn't do it to myself. So what I love that they did is they did the treasury editions, which they're these big 11 by 17 comic book, and you get to see it in that big format. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have fun with those. So I end up doing those just because I love Hush storyline, number one. And I got what is it? You pre-order with your comic shop. So every week he holds one for me. So I'm up to like 4. So I think this week will be 5. So it's been, you know, that's how I collect modern stuff. But yeah, you just got to be careful. What else is there? There's just variant covers, which there is exclusive to comic shop, or like even Whatnot does their own exclusives. Those are pretty cool to collect. Because I got to see some friends that got to do their own comic for the first time. And it wasn't with Marvel, it wasn't with DC, it was with was it IDW? Yeah. I think it was IDW at that time. Their first one. I couldn't remember if that was their first one, but it was Assassin's Creed.
Oh, so no kidding. Holy crap.
Yeah, he was able to get his own artist and then be able to purchase, you know, certain amount of comics and put their art on there and his logo on the back and all of that. So yeah, it was pretty cool to see that. And that's it. I think that's so cool to find like these independent comics, because you're supporting those artists that are coming up, you know, like they're not working for Marvel or DC yet, but they're doing amazing work with these Transformers or Assassin's Creed. Like you get some really cool IPs that, you know, Marvel or DC haven't bought out yet, you know? So that's pretty cool to pop out those artists like that.
Oh yeah. That goes a long way. I mean, it's kind of like how we were talking about the Perna Studios set, right? Like it's just, whenever you can support these artists in meaningful ways, it's always huge.
Shout out to Ben. He actually got his first comic book art cover done in public. And that was on the Phantom run. and he absolutely killed it on that cover. And it's traditional, traditional art, just amazing. And Ben is such an amazing artist. And speaking of Ben, I just had one of his cards right here. This is Raj. He owns this original art, and this is his business card.
Wow. And Donnie's referring to Ben Brady, who's just a phenomenal artist, and showing off a Psylocke card that he printed as a business card that ironically was Raj's commission from him.
So crazy. And the reason I had this out was because he did a Batman sketch for me, and I'm organizing all my sketches to put them in the binder. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to put this next to the sketch because he sent it as a gift. And these are limited to 50. Only 50 of these were made.
Very cool. So I want to make sure I've got it right. So when I'm thinking about comics, I've got just the standard comic book cover that you see as advertised. And typically that's going to be like your cover A, like you were mentioning. And then sometimes you have other variants. So you've got sometimes just like different covers like B and C. Sometimes you have variants, like you said, like on Whatnot, or maybe you have an exclusive from San Diego Comic-Con. And then you have some variants that are ratios, where the only way to get them is the comic book has to order X amount of comics to get one of that ratio. And then you mentioned a little bit about newsstands. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what a newsstand is and the difference there?
Yeah, so a newsstand, I think I have one to show that doesn't have it. And there's so many different ways to collect. Let me grab this Spider-Man real fast.
Yeah, take your time.
Here it is. Just grabbed a random book that I had right there. So this is more like in the bronze age of things. Okay. But in the corner, this is a Spider-Man.
Okay. Yep.
And this is the direct copy.
Okay.
And a newsstand just has this barcode here.
Okay.
And so that's the difference between the newsstand and direct for that era. But the newer stuff.
And just to clarify, before you keep going, for that era, it's at the bottom left corner, you'll see a literal barcode, and then the literal barcode means it's a newsstand. But if you see the little Spider-Man or whatever, that's going to be your direct. And what era is that?
This one, this is more Copper Age, actually.
Okay.
Like Bronze, Copper Age, it's in between that era.
Okay.
There is different ones though. Like it's not always a Spider-Man. Sometimes I would put a different character. Like I think there is some that have Venom. It just depends on the run as well.
But it's not a barcode, basically.
Yeah. Because even like Batman, like they have the Batman, and then it's not. It has a barcode.
Okay.
So
yep.
This one is from 2002, and the only way to tell is this is the newsstand. It doesn't say direct.
Oh,
and you could kind of tell the newsstand bars are way filled in. If it was direct, it would be shrunk down and then say direct edition up top.
Okay, gotcha.
So there's now
is there a difference in rarity between the newsstand and the directs?
Yes, big difference. So with direct, and it all depends on the year. This is where you have to kind of do your research on if you're trying to collect Captain America or Spider-Man. Know what years and run of that run, how many there were printed. So like normally, as the closer you get to more of the 2000s, the newsstands were 2%. And I'm not a professional, I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure it's 2% for the 2000s era of the whole entire print run.
Wow.
So that's what makes this like Batman book. And I finally found one. I've been saying, if anybody sees one, let me know. I finally found another guy that has it. He has it up for like $700, I think it was, on eBay. And it's a newsstand signed by Jim Lee. And just to have a newsstand in high grade, finally get it on 9.8, it's just so hard because you have way less to play with. And then also these were on the newsstand rack, so you would buy these at maybe at a little flea market or something. They had it on the rack, so they're always like getting bent because of the metal or kids playing with them, putting them back. Comic shops, they had the direct, so they were buying bulk. They didn't need to have the barcode to scan or anything. They knew exactly, okay, we bought 40 copies of this book, so they're buying direct pretty much.
Okay, gotcha. That's interesting. And just to move forward in the value and thinking about that, obviously that's going to impact the value of a comic book. And I know other things will impact value, like, what run it is, maybe the artist that did the book. Is it a first appearance of a certain character? Exactly, yeah. A lot of the older books are going to be more valuable. Is there anything else that people should keep in mind when they're thinking about, okay, what makes this book valuable compared to another?
Yeah, I would say first thing, just to kind of keep it simple, is like the significance of that book. Is it a key book? And then
and what do you mean by that, by a key book?
This is a controversial topic, because everybody in the comic, it's like an ongoing thing. It was like, no, that's not a key just because this person has a new costume, and so it's an ongoing thing. But for me,
what's Donny's definition?
I feel like it has to be like something really drastic. Like it can't be, Wolverine in his brown costume, like this first appearance of the brown costume. Yes, that's cool to me, but it's not like something that happens in storyline. Like for me, is like with Hulk 181 and Hulk 180. Everybody says Hulk 181. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people see Hulk 181 as the main book because it's first full appearance. He's on the cover, and Hulk 180, he appears on the last panel, and he's on the last, and shows Wolverine right there in that corner, a full panel of just Wolverine. And then Hulk 181 comes out, he's on the cover. But Hulk 181 sells for way more than Hulk 180. And so that's another thing where people like me, Hulk 180 is Wolverine's first appearance. So to me, it's when you first see that character for the very first time.
Yeah,
that's
I'm with
his first appearance. And but everybody sees it as Hulk 181. And believe me, I love the cover. Hulk 181 is an amazing book.
Yeah.
And I respect the book because of that. But I also still love Hulk 180 because that's the first time you ever see Wolverine.
Wow. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know.
That's an iffy question. It's like, it depends on who you're talking to, but for a key issue, but that's where you do your research and then have a good understanding of, a good place to go look for beginners, like, especially if you're trying to find your artist or a cover that matches your trading card, is going to Key Collector.
Okay.
Or Go Collect. Key Collector and Go Collect. Those are great places to get information. You could literally find a book by the year or by the run. You could see every Batman book that's ever been made. You could see why it's a key issue if it does show it being a key issue. But there's also some information like these here. And I'm really happy to finally get another one because I've been helping Key Collector with their census, to say.
That's cool.
Their census, they have the DC universe. So there's a direct copy, then there's the newsstand copy, and then in DC they did a DC universe copy, which is this right here.
Okay, gotcha.
And so the way they reprinted these issues and put them in a bundle pack that you would find like at toy stores like Toys R Us or even comic shops. But they reprinted like this is one of my favorite ones. I'm not a Superman fan, but it has Batman on it. Okay, it's a Superman book, but it's a DCU variant, and it has all those different Batmans from different eras.
Oh wow, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, so that's another variant of collecting, and another way you could do your research, find like what's the rarest version of this book, and go hunting and have fun with it.
So Donny, as we start wrapping this up, is there anything else that you think collectors should know, or anything that we haven't gotten to yet that you wanted to share?
Like, you could keep going on how to collect and stuff. It's just, there's so much information. I don't want to like overdo it for somebody, but I just do your research, have fun, figure out what character you really want to collect, and do that deep dive. And if, of course, anybody ever needs help or has any questions, like, shoot me a DM. I love to help people if they're looking for comics or anything. It doesn't matter what it is. And just have fun, man. Just have fun with it and collect what you love. I love that with comics, though, and you don't get that with Marvel cards or DC cards, is that you could have the hobby fund itself. And, we don't, not all of us have money just, oh, here, drop $400 on a book. The difference between $10 to $20 could be the deal breaker for somebody. So, if you could get a little bit of knowledge of like, I'm not a Spider-Man fan, but I look for Spider-Man things that maybe I could flip or trade to my friends and be able to purchase that Batman book I have. But I also am not going to be mad if I have that Spider-Man book in my collection if I'm stuck with it,
Yeah.
Because I still love Spider-Man too, so don't overextend yourself to where you're like buying stuff you don't have passion for. Because I still love Spider-Man, mainly Black Suit. But if I'm stuck with a Captain America or Spider-Man book, I know I love all of Marvel. So I'm happy with having it there. But to buy another book that's an independent that I don't know what it is, and I know it's worth $30, and you buy it, and hopefully I can make 10. I stay away from that. Everything I buy is with purpose, and I have passion for it. So
I love that, man. Collect what you love.
Yep, collect what you love, man.
So before we end this segment, I always do a rapid fire question round. So I'm going to hit you with some questions. I want you to just answer with the first thing that comes to mind. I haven't shared these with Donny, by the way. So he's hearing all these for the first time. So we're going to kick it off. The first Marvel comic that a new fan should read that knows nothing about Marvel.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to go with the Alex Ross run Man, that's so hard. I didn't think it would be that hard.
Yeah, it can be an issue or just like a run in general.
Okay, Mutant Massacre. I'll go with that one. I think that's fun.
Okay.
So the X-Men, Mutant Massacre. I always love that run, so it's fun.
Cool. Your favorite Marvel comic artist? Got to pick one.
Oh man. Oh, that's so hard, man. Gosh, I would have to say I'm gonna have to go with Neil Adams, and that's just because I love that his art is tied to the Silver Age of Batman, and that Neil Adams gave us the Dark Knight. Like that darker side of Batman, we got it through his art. Like he made that, so he's like really important in my eyes to what Batman is. So. So for Marvel, you said Marvel though. I forgot. God dang it.
We can't get Donny off Batman. Across the Batverse. Welcome to the show.
Okay, so then I'm gonna have to go with Jim Lee for Marvel. Okay. Because that brings so much nostalgia, like seeing those X-Men books and watching the show. And I know they kind of like, it's not him doing the art, but it just ties everything together. And as a kid, that's all you've seen. And it's funny because those artists were like celebrities, like they were like, I remember my cousins talking to me about them, like if they were like some famous big person.
Yeah.
And it's not like that now. It is, but like they had a whole different experience. They were like the trailblazers for that, for sure.
You can only collect one. Comics, art, cards, or figures, toys, statues, etc. But you got to pick one.
I have to go art.
Yeah. The most overrated comic book issue or run?
Spider-Man.
All of it.
All of this Spider-Man.
That's a hot take there.
I'm keeping it in, Justin.
Let's see. You can only keep comics surrounding one team. Who makes the cut between X-Men, Avengers, and Fantastic Four?
No, X-Men.
X-Men it is. Would you rather have a perfect comic cut from Amazing Fantasy 15 or Amazing Fantasy 15 in a 0.5 grade?
Oh, man. I would say, no, I'd go with 0. Oh, no. I'm going to have to go with the comic cut.
You're going with the comic cut? Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No. You thought. No, I'm going with the comic, bro. I'm definitely going with the comic.
All right.
And I would crack that, and then I would look through those pages. If it's a 0.5, like,
screw it.
Well, have fun with it. Have fun.
What book would you want a comic cut from the most, even if it hasn't been done?
Okay, now we're talking. Tech 27. Detective Comics 27.
Detective Comics 27.
Batman.
Very cool.
Have a comic cut of that. I'm hoping Upper Deck does comic cuts. I'm pretty sure they will.
I bet they will.
I am all in on Batman comic cuts, man.
If you could only keep one piece in your collection, what would it be? Everything else goes. There's a fire right now. You can grab one thing, but you can choose if the fire's at your house or your mom's house.
Okay. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go with. I would have to go with my signed Neil Adams Batman. First appearance of Man Bat. So
that's a solid pick. Wow.
Yeah, I like that book.
Okay, Donnie, you made it to the last question. Would you?
Oh,
I can't even say it without laughing.
all right.
Would you rather keep the new X-Men 97 animated series or
Oh, you already know the answer.
We're laughing because me and Donnie have been arguing about X-Men 97. Okay, all right. Let me try again. Would you rather keep the X-Men 97 animated series that came out this past year, or would you rather have front row San Diego Comic-Con seats for the newest X-Men MCU movie premiere?
No, I'm keeping 97.
You're keeping that?
Yeah,
that's
keeping
crazy.
97. And Hermit, he is just, I don't know what's going on with him. Just don't blame him. It's just, he's getting into it. I don't know what it is. But he has something against X-Men 97, and he's crazy because it literally checked off so many things. Yes, the animation wasn't the best, but the stories, the nostalgia, bringing back Saturday morning cartoons, like it just brought so much. And I know it's maybe different for people that didn't like grow up watching X-Men, but I remember the last episode and imagine being stuck wanting to know what happened to Professor X, and you don't ever get to know. And then finally, like 20 years later, then they give you the conclusion to that. Like, it's amazing. So yeah, X-Men 97 all day.
Okay. All right. Well, when I get my tickets to San Diego Comic-Con movie premiere, Raj and I are gonna have a great time. And we'll send you some pictures as you watch X-Men 97 at home. So no, great answers. Donnie, we're gonna wrap this up with a couple listener questions.
Lumpkin's letters.
So Graydon sent in a question for you. He said, how's your Sabretooth collection coming along?
All I know is I got the craziest Sabretooth collection right now. Like nobody, like Graydon has nothing on me right now. Like I got PMGs, I got comic cuts. Like you name it, I have it up there. So like, yeah, nobody could beat me on that. But it's crazy, bro. Like I love helping out friends, and Graydon, he gets his cards sent here, and then I'm going to send everything all at once. But I love to see the way he collects though, because it's unique to see like how he thinks of certain things. Like, and we all collect different. So when I it's funny, I get his packages and I'm happy to see. I'm like, oh, let's see what he got now. Like just to see, and some of the comic cuts, and then I got to like see some of the comic cuts, and I'm like, oh man. And I know the book, so I go grab the book and I pull it on and I'll send a picture to him, so you can see it like right there. And it's just cool to see how he collects, man. He has an amazing collection. I'm excited to see everything all together, all in one binder, all in one place, and then him share it with everybody. Because I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like this collection before.
Graydon's crazy, man. We love Graydon.
He is crazy. We love you, Graydon.
Off-White Tim wants to know, who is your all-time favorite Batman artist?
I'm gonna have to go with Off-White Tim. Yeah.
Off-White Tim. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
No, I will say it's always been between David Finch, and it's three. It's David Finch, Neil Adams, and Jim Aparo. Like those three, I'm always constantly like, no, David Finch is amazing, because his art is like top notch. Mm-hmm. But it's the historical aspect to Jim Aparo and Neil Adams that always gets me going back to them. But David Finch is one of my favorite artists. He's an amazing artist.
Nice. Blake says, who does Donnie enjoy drawing the most? And then he said, we all know it's Gwenum. And he said, what drew you into art?
Okay. Favorite character to draw would have to be Venom. I just love doing symbiotes. Like symbiotes, like you could just have fun with it. Yeah. I would say him and Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange, you could just add anything and it makes sense. Like you could just, I don't know, you could just add the most random design and it'll make sense. Like, but Venom, more fluid. And I think when I draw Venom, I get to have more fun, like making it more personalized. Like nothing needs to be perfect either. The anatomy doesn't have to like make sense because, you
It's
know, he
Venom.
could literally
Yeah.
form himself and whatever, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So there's that. And what was the other half part?
He just wanted to know what drew you into doing art.
Okay. So I've always been an artist, like since I could remember. I've always drawn stuff. I've like in class, of course, drawing, but I remember I would go home and just be stuck there drawing stuff. And it just, you know, I'm glad I got back into it because I think what mainly got me into it was my older cousin, the ones I would get handy downs from. CJ, my cousin CJ, he's an amazing artist. And I was always amazed with this stuff. And like, I just remember I wanted to be like that. I'm like, oh, I want to draw like him. And he would draw characters too. Like he would always draw like Batman or what was it? G.I. Joe characters. So I always thought that was interesting. So me getting back into it, it's been like a year and a half now, I would say, like getting back into the art side of things. I don't even think it's been that actually, no, because I would have at the Comic-Con, I would have been there last year talking to artists. So yeah, it hasn't even been a year yet.
Wow, man. The art you do is phenomenal. If y'all haven't seen Donny's art, you got to see it. It's incredible, man. I'm waiting for Donny to be famous, and he's gonna be up there. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
All right, last question for you, and then we're gonna close this thing out. Raj, he wants. I saved the best question for last, by the way. He would like you to tell us all more about your secret Mole Man collection.
Oh gosh, you know, I will say Raj has a way better Mole Man collection than me, so I don't even want to share my stuff because Mole Man, like, he just puts me to shame. So I'm not going to even share.
When we talked about characters reminding you of people, is Mole Man, you think of Raj?
Raj, yep, he has all the 101s, man. It's like right there next to his Venom 101. It's like he doesn't know which one to pick sometimes.
Oh
no,
Mole
Man is. It's funny. It's like a little inside joke. One day, I don't even know what it was. Oh, I think it might have been Raj pulling a Mole Man. And so I always like made fun of him saying, "Oh, you're a Mole Man collector now?" Like, and so that happened one time. Then we went in a break and I pulled the Mole Man and I had the guy just send it. I just said, "Hey, no, just send it to Raj." Like I sent him a DM and then Raj sends me a picture. He's like, "Oh, I hate you." So ever since then, I always say, "Oh, you're a Mole Man collector."
That's too funny, bro. Well, dude, Donny, this has been a blast, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I think everyone got a ton out of this. I know I did. I'm clueless when it comes to comics. I'm still learning. I'm still just trying to read them, you know? So I haven't even gotten into really much with collecting at all. But as I've been reading them, I've been learning how I can enhance my card collection. And I think you shared a lot of great tips on how our listeners can really take a deeper dive right into comics. And even if you aren't going to collect comics, use that information and that knowledge to enhance your card collection or your art collection or whatever it may be.
Especially with comic books.
Exactly. Understanding that connection is so important. So, dude, thank you so much. Was there anything else you wanted to say? Anything you wanted to plug before we close out?
I actually just want to say, like, thank you for having me on. I had a lot of fun. And I will say it again, Hermit, keep this up because you are doing an amazing job, bro. Like, I'm not even joking.
Man. Thank you.
I'm not saying this just because you're my friend, but I really feel like there was a gap in the hobby and you filled it. And just, I also want to shoot a shout out to Marvelously Sketched because he's doing his as well. And you guys have just been killing it, man. So just keep up the hard work. And, you know, I know you have fun doing it because you could see your passion just spilling out. And it makes it fun because, you know, when other people, I see everybody else come on here, they get so comfortable and they just want to share and share and share. And this long format has been definitely a fresh, you know, it's just new because everybody's into this 10, 15-second clip. But the long format, I listen to it at work and have fun with it. And, you know, just I'll pause it here. Okay, I'm going to save that 30 minutes when I go over here. But yeah, just keep up that amazing work, and everybody just collect what you love. Like, don't let the hobby stress you. Just surround yourself with good people, and just like what we all do in our friend group, we help each other out. Like, I'll buy Raj a card, or I'll have cards that I just had and send them out to everybody. Like, be nice, be kind, have fun. and just collect what you love.
I love it, man. Well, dude, I really appreciate that. Seriously. And yes, definitely shout out to Marvelously Sketched, our friend Matt. He was on a few episodes ago. He's doing a live stream every Thursday night. He's getting some amazing guests on, dropping some amazing content. So definitely check him out on YouTube. And if you've made it so this far in this episode, if you could please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. If you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, that would really mean a lot. If you're on YouTube, if you could just drop a thumbs up and just leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about this episode.
And subscribe for sure.
Yeah, please do.
Subscribe, you guys.
It really helps. But Donny, thank you again, my friend. We're going to close this out. So until next time, we will catch you all later. Bye, guys.